All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are now joined by our Idaho student athletes. We have senior guard Isaiah Brickner, freshman forward Jackson Rasmussen, and sophomore guard Colton Mitchell. And just once again, a couple housekeeping items. Please silence your cell phones. Please provide your name and your media affiliation each time you ask a question. If you wouldn't mind directing the questions by name to each of our student athletes, if you have a specific question to each of them. Once again, if you're joining on Zoom, please use the raise hand functionality, and we will address those questions after we get to all of our questions here in the room. And lastly, recording our press conferences on cell phones or cameras is prohibited. We appreciate your cooperation with that. And with that, we will open it up for questions on the floor. Right here, third row in the middle.
Hey guys, Madison McCord with the Spokesman Review. Colton, we talked back on Sunday, and obviously it was really fresh and exciting. A couple days have passed, so it's sunk in a bit, but I can imagine, you guys have just been hard at work. But now that you're here, right, what's this experience been like, and how have you kind of gotten in the zone to play an NCAA tournament game?
Yeah, it's been amazing. This whole experience so far has just been so great for us and this university. Being able to travel with our band and cheer and everything has been so much fun. And then today, being able to come to this arena and stuff, it's just been such a blessing for us. And I'm so excited to be able to play tomorrow, and it's going to be great.
Here on the left.
Joe Masato, the Oklahoman. For whoever wants to answer this, is it cool for you guys that you guys are playing here and the women's team is playing just down the road, 24 hours behind you guys? And what's that sort of mean for the university as a whole?
Yeah, for sure. I think it's really cool. I've already talked to some of them. I think they're going to try and come to our game, which I think is really special. So, yeah, that's definitely very cool.
On the back row here.
Nick Mantis, KPRC2 in Houston. For you guys to see your ability to catch fire from three, especially in the conference tournament, what have you seen from Houston's defense that you can exploit with your ability to hit from beyond the arc?
I feel like what we've been working on these last couple of days is just making the right play every single time. Houston is a super aggressive defensive team, so being able to make simple plays and, find open shots, find our guys for open shots. Like you said, we have a skilled team and everyone on this team can shoot, so just playing our brand of basketball is, I feel like, how we're going to be successful in this game tomorrow.
Back toward the middle.
Isaiah, I'll go back to you on this one. One of the key things with that Houston defense and even their offense, super slow tempo, right? They 325th in the country in possessions per game. How have you guys adjusted to that? Is something you've talked about? How do you think your game will fit against that really slow pace they like to play?
Yeah, we're always trying to play our brand of basketball. We like to push the pace, play fast, earn early advantages. So I think we're going to try and, do that same thing tomorrow. Go out, play fast, and just do what we do. Shoot the ball with confidence, be aggressive, play our brand.
Other questions for our Idaho student athletes? One more here in the middle.
Colton and Jackson, actually, you guys have three guys on this team who have NCAA experience. Obviously, Trey was able to win that game with Fairleigh Dickinson a couple of years ago. Jack won a game at Colorado State. What's that kind of been like? Has there been messaging from them of what this experience can be, and has that helped you guys kind of settle it a little bit?
Yeah, I think the main thing is just kind of like what a day would look like in the tournament. Coming in here, what kind of practice things are, stuff like that. All three of the guys didn't really get a lot of playing time when they played in the tournament, so just all the extra stuff is kind of the main thing that they've been able to be in our ear about and just give us familiarity with it.
Go front row.
Joseph Duarte, Houston Chronicle. Colton, Houston uses a two-point guard lineup throughout. Here's when you watch that, does that present challenges, or how do you sort of view that matchup there with two guys that they can both have the ball in their hands?
Yeah, they got two really good point guards, but we kind of run a two-point guard lineup as well. So I think we'll be able to match up pretty well with them. It's going to be a big challenge for us, but we'll be ready and we'll be excited.
Anything else? Are we good? All right. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Once again, Hammond Communications will post a recording of this press conference in the NCAA Digital Media Hub. That's at ncaa.veritone.com. And our transcripts will be provided by ASAP and will be posted shortly. We will have Coach Alex Pribble joining us here momentarily.
Appreciate it.
And we are joined now by Coach Alex Pribble from Idaho. Just a couple of housekeeping items. Once again, please silence your cell phones. If you have a question, please raise your hand and we will get you a microphone. Provide your name and media affiliation with each question. And if you're joining on Zoom, we'll get to you after all of the questions here in the room. And lastly, once again, recording press conferences on cell phones or cameras is prohibited. We will open it up with an opening statement from Coach Pribble.
Yeah, hello everybody. Honored to be here. It's been a special stretch here for the Idaho Vandals. Being out in Oklahoma City with our team, having our women's program representing in the women's NCAA tournament just 30 miles away. Just a great time to be an Idaho Vandal. I think this year has been really special for us. We felt really good about our team from the start. We feel like we have an older, more experienced, more mature group, and it really clicked for us at the end of the year. We ended up playing 7 games in 13 days down the stretch to earn ourselves a chance to get to the big dance, and we're playing our best basketball at the right time. So love our group. Really excited about the opportunity. We have a huge challenge against the Houston Cougars team that, we know kind of is the epitome of toughness and resilience and physicality, and it's just going to be a great challenge for us, and we're excited.
We'll open it up here on the front row.
Joseph Duarte, Houston Chronicle. Alex, you just kind of hit on it, but their style and their physical nature, how difficult is that to sort of prepare in such a short amount of time, and how do you feel like, your team can match up, in terms of that physicalness?
Yeah, it's very difficult. You're not going to mimic, your scout team's not going to mimic the physicality of Houston. Coach Sampson does such a great job, again, just with the identity of the program. There's actually a young man that I had the pleasure of coaching named Cameron Tyson. He went to Idaho as a freshman, and then he ended up going to Houston. And when he came back, I actually coached him at Seattle University. When he came back to Seattle, he was a changed player, right? The toughness that he had, the chip that he played the game with in terms of chip on his shoulder. You can just tell that what Coach Sampson does with everybody in their program is really special. And that's the reason why their program is studied so much. And a lot of coaches look to that program in terms of how they practice and just their day-to-day standards to learn. So for us, a huge growth, the reason that we're sitting here today is that we've become a tougher team. If you look at our defensive rebounding numbers, we weren't a great defensive rebounding team the previous 2 years. We made that a point of emphasis this year, and now we're the number 5 defensive rebounding team in the country. And so what better way to test that identity than to play against, Houston, who that's what they're all about. So huge challenge on our hands, no doubt about it, but we're excited for that challenge, and I know our guys are going to put their best foot forward.
We'll go second row on the left, and then we'll go to the middle.
KHOU in Houston. The type of pace that your team likes to play, how does that compare to Houston's, and do you think that could help you if it is a difference?
Yeah, it's a good question. It's going to come down to a possession game, in my opinion, right? We have to first and foremost take care of the basketball. So regardless of pace, valuing the ball, playing fundamentally sound offensively, making sure we have the right spacing, that's going to be the priority. Now, if we are able to generate shots quickly, for example, if they put a trap on us and we're able to get the ball out of the trap and earn a great shot, we're going to take it, right? It's not about waiting until the end of the shot clock. It's about taking care of the ball and generating good shots. Traditionally, we've played with pretty good pace and pretty good spacing, and an early open three is a good shot for our team. We've set the three-point shooting record the last 2 years at University of Idaho, and if we're going to hang with Houston, we're going to have to make some shots. So we're not going to play on our heels. We're going to go and be aggressive, but it starts with taking care of the basketball.
Go middle here and then to the right.
Hey, Coach Madison with the Spokesman Review. You have experience in the NCAA tournament, not only as a player back with Cal, but also you made 2 of them as a coach at St. Martin's at the D2 level. What do you bring from that, and what can you kind of pass on to these guys, both from the experience of being there as a player, but also as a coach and making it around to the Sweet 16 a couple years ago?
Yeah, it's a good question.
H&R Block makes it easy to reserve time for your taxes. Tap us in, find a time that works for you, upload your doc.
To enjoy this experience. I spoke about it earlier. I had the conversation right when the selection Sunday ended. I talked to our guys about soaking this up, journaling, staying present, making memories, enjoying the moment. And then the flip side to that is our guys 100% need to be prepared to play their best basketball game of the year. And so the good thing is I don't have to worry about the competitive side with our group, meaning they're gonna show up and play with the fire. They've had kind of an underdog mentality this whole year. So I do think you can kind of see both sides of that. So in terms of my experience, the one that I'll actually rely on the most is when I was an assistant coach at Eastern Washington University. It's the last time I was coaching in the Division I NCAA tournament. And that experience, I learned that sometimes it takes a few minutes, maybe the first media timeout, maybe a couple media timeouts to settle in. And you just got to coach the game possession by possession. You can't worry about the outcome too much early in the game. It's just next play, what adjustments do we need to make, to try to be successful offensively or defensively those next 4 minutes. So that's the approach we'll take. We need to learn early in the game. Similar to the question that was asked earlier, we're not going to be able to have our scout team mimic Houston's defensive pressure right away. That's just not what's going to happen. But we do talk about spacing, and then after the first 4 minutes, hopefully our guys can kind of settle in a little bit. That'll be the goal.
Third row here on the right.
Joe Masato, the Oklahoman. Coach, you mentioned it at the top, but how cool is it for both programs that you guys are here, the women are right down the road in Norman?
Yeah, it's a special time to be an Idaho Vandal. We've been talking about it. It's funny. At the start of the year, we played at Washington State University, kind of a regional rival for us. And the women played earlier in the day, and they knocked them off, kind of put the pressure on us to do the same thing, and started with a sweep over a big, regional rivalry. And then all the way until the last game of the conference tournament when the women won earlier in the day, and we had to come in and kind of finish it off. It's just, it's been really special. We have a very good relationship with the women's staff. We share an office space. I watch practices of theirs when I can, pick their brain about basketball. They do the same with us. They watch our practices. We work together a lot. I got great respect for what they do. So to see both the men's program and the women's program have success at the same time, it's just, it's really special. And then to have them just 30 miles away, it's almost like it was pre-written, like this is the way it should be. So, just really, really happy for all the Idaho Vandal fans. We expect a solid turnout because the fans can come here and they can watch us play Thursday, watch the women play Friday. They could take an Uber between the two venues if they need to. Like, what a special deal. It's just, it's pretty great. Yeah.
Here in the middle.
Coach, obviously, Coach Sampson has been around the game for a really long time, including in the Palouse, over in Pullman for a 7-year stretch. Have you had any interactions with him in the past? And what do you kind of glean from his experience and how long he's been doing it at such a high level?
Yeah, he's a Hall of Fame coach, and I don't know him directly, but I tell you what, I've studied his program a lot. I've learned a lot from watching their game film. It's the kind of coach you want to be able to coach against. What a great situation to be able to go and put a scouting report together and kind of battle against a coach like him. I know he's in the Palouse, and there's a lot of people that I've heard from, a lot of former Vandals who talk about growing up going to the Cougar camps, right, when he was over there. And if I get a chance to share a moment with him, maybe I'll ask a little bit about his experience on the Palouse. I know he impacted a lot of lives out there. And look, coaching on the Palouse, it's really special. This whole year for us has been about honoring Coach Don Munson, who he is Idaho basketball, and to be able to learn about the tradition of Idaho. And back in the day when the two teams were playing against each other, the Cougars and the Vandals, just got a great legacy. So I'm sure he remembers the time on the Palouse. If I get a chance, I'll definitely ask him about it.
Any other questions for Coach? All right.
Thank you all very much.
Thank
Go
you,
Vandals.
Coach.